Hello everyone, the Fed clearly pumped the market up. So in today's video, I'm going to explain to you guys why I got into March puts, but overall, the market clearly looks bullish. So that trade is probably not going to do too well, but we're going to go more in depth about a very, very important level on the market. We're going to take a look at the SPX chart and where we are now in terms of where the trend lines are. We're going to take a look at the large tech stocks, earnings, and the lay of the land of what could happen next in the market. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Number one, Meta had earnings clearly very, very strong. It's almost up 20% in the after hours, 153 to 180. It missed earnings, but it beat on revenue. So they beat on advertising revenue and overall Q4 revenue by a little bit, but they missed on earnings. And they also reported a share buyback program. So both of those things really increased the price of Meta in the after hours. And of course, in the after hours tomorrow, we're going to have earnings on Apple, Amazon, and Google. So I want to first take a look at the chart of Apple. We can clearly see that this is a very, very bullish setup. We got a wick below multiple levels of support. And the setup looks, if they wanted to break it above this high, this is the setup to basically do it. But of course, once we have earnings tomorrow, after hours, it's completely irrelevant which way it could go. But the fact that we didn't close yet above this is a good sign. When we take a look at Google, similar to Apple, right? But it looks much, much stronger. We still technically did not get a close above the most recent high. So it's not the most bullish setup on a daily close, but in after hours, it's doing well. But then when you take a look at Amazon and the rest of the large tech stocks, all of them are just skyrocketing. Amazon clearly looks very, very strong. It's getting a boost from the tech stocks as well as the IWM. Tesla looks very strong as well. And of course, when you take a look at Microsoft also looks very, very strong. So, and then, I mean, not to mention Meta is up almost 20%. So overall, the large tech stocks clearly look very, very strong as a group. But tomorrow after hours is going to be a very, very big day for tech stocks because of the earnings. Now, I want to talk about this 411.73 level on the SPY. So this level has been a very major resistance and support level in the past. So currently, we did not get a close above this level. But first and foremost, this is a very, very bullish setup. We got a clear close above the recent high, and we got a retest to almost 414. So this is clearly a very, very bullish setup. This is most likely a very, very early short. So this is similar to this situation over here, where it didn't make sense to try to go short, but it did end up working out afterward. This setup here, personally, I think is one of generally I don't really lose trades too often, right? But I in this trade specifically, it's a very, very risky, pretty risky dumb trade, but it is what it is. Basically, if you did want to be short, you would be short with a stop loss above this high, right? So that's basically what we're basically going to be doing. But overall, I'm not sure how much lower the market can go. It could basically do a few things heading into tomorrow, in my opinion. If we get a gap down, and as long as we're holding above 408.50, 409, I don't know if we get that low, but if we get a gap down, then is most likely going to get a bounce upwards. So similar to what I was saying on Monday, I was expecting us to retest 406 to 407, right? But we never ended up doing that. And that basically gave us enough fuel to get a retest back up because we showed a lot of unwarranted weakness the next day. So similar to that situation, I think tomorrow we should get a bit of a retest, 411 to 412. It's actually 412 to 413, and then from there, we're going to see what ends up happening. People can end up going short again at that level, and then retest 408. So basically, we can end up either gapping up and selling off a bit, or gapping down and basically rallying a bit. So that's essentially what I think could end up happening if we end up closing below 407, then this can just be a massive bull trap. So tomorrow, in my opinion, if we close below 407, this, ideally, if we get a close below 405, then this would just be a massive bull trap, and then we can really fall down even lower. But all of this stuff is just very hypothetical, right? Overall, this is clearly a very bullish setup, but we have to know what levels, if we get closes below or closes above, we have to lean in that direction. So currently, in the short term, so tomorrow for day trading wise, in the short term, unless we gap down to like 407, we have to lean long. So it's going to be the easiest trades tomorrow, just going along the momentum, especially if we gap down a bit. If we gap down a bit to like 409, we should be leaning long, heading into like in the early hours of the market, 100% in my opinion. That is most likely what I'm going to be doing regardless. So yeah, those are the levels. But now for this 411.73 level, clearly it has acted as major resistance and support in the past. So this is a similar level to where we were showing a lot of strength heading into FOMC, and then we got a gap down and then just continued selling off. So this is that level back in the past here, and then you can see it acted as major support over here. There's a lot of buying around this level. There was a lot more buying around this level again. You can see we got major touches all throughout here, and we got a gap down below that level. And then remember, we went long this day and we hit like 100% within a day on like 2 week out calls. It was very safe. I posted this on Twitter, and basically then back here it was a very major level as well. We finally broke above this level. We retested it, and then we just skyrocketed, got a retest, then skyrocketed even more after another retest. So yeah, clearly a very important level, and that's basically where we're at right now. So if we get a close above this level, 411.73, then that is obviously going to be bullish. If we get another close above today's high, then that is going to be enormously bullish. And if we get a close above today's high, then 417 to 418 is on the table. 417 to 418, we can end up, you know, shorting over there, and then we might end up getting a retest to 410 afterward. But yeah, just in terms of the most pain to retail, I would think that a lot of people are long, right? So what could end up happening is we gap up, make even more people long, and then show weakness afterward, get a breakdown below. And then the best situation would be if it just completely breaks down below all levels of support, because then the people who are trying to go long at around 407, 408 would also get burnt. So that would be the situation that causes the most pain to everybody in the market. And yeah, we just have to see if that ends up playing out. This December 2009 level on the SPX clearly looks very promising, and this downtrend level we broke up, we came, retested it, and we shot up, and now we have gotten 2 closes on the SPX above this trend line. So it's going to be very important to see if we get a retest back a bit closer to this trend line, similar to what I was just saying on the SPY, and either we come back and retest close to this trend line, or we come back a bit into this candle here, either at the 50% or the 6.8% fib, and continue upwards. So there's going to be a lot of ifs of what can end up happening in the market moving forward, but clearly this looks very bullish. But next, let's take a look at the bonds, the dollar, and the VIX. All right, so the 30-year bonds clearly look very bullish, unfortunately for our puts, but intraday we're going to make a lot of money if we end up bouncing. But anyway, the bonds look very strong. We can see that the MACD is oversold. We got a clear close above major levels of resistance and back above this trend line. So clearly things look very bullish. And we know that the bonds have a correlated relationship to the market. If the bonds are doing well, then that means that the overall stock market is also doing well. Next, we have the dollar. We know that the dollar has a uncorrelated relationship with the market. So if the dollar is falling, that generally means that the market is showing strength. And clearly we can see that the dollar has come back and retested this lower trend line. And now basically we can see that the lower level of the Bollinger Band is starting to point lower, which points to more downside potential on the dollar, as it would take a much stronger move on the dollar for it to become algorithmically overextended, since the Bollinger Band is also falling lower. So clearly, this setup on the dollar is not good. For shorts, it is actually very, very bullish for the stock market. And then last but not least, also the VIX. We can see the VIX is showing a lot of weakness. It also has an uncorrelated relationship to the market. If the VIX is falling, that means that the stock market is showing a lot of strength. So the fact that also the Bollinger Band is falling lower, the VIX is showing a lot of weakness. This clearly does not look bullish for the market. There still seems to be more room to the downside. Aside from that, things clearly still look very, very bullish, and it's very difficult to be overly bearish or bullish heading into tomorrow night's earnings reports for the large trillion-dollar companies. So hopefully we get a big, nice move to the downside intraday tomorrow so that we can exit our swings, because I definitely do not want to hold anything heading into tomorrow night. So yeah, we will see if these get stopped out or not, and hopefully we get a retest of somewhere around 408 to 409 so we can take some profit and have a beautiful night's rest tomorrow after hours. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing night. Thank you.